Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another video on the channel. I'm Chris, the MLS Card Guy. Today we're going to be going over how to set your MLS lineups. Once we get into the game week, I'll show you different websites to use to find out who the starters are, and we'll kind of go over, what kind of targets you should be shooting for. Before we get into the video, please, if you enjoy the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe. I'll also link my Twitter and Instagram in the description below. Feel free to reach out to me on any of the socials if you have any questions, if you have any topics that you want to see for future videos. I'm really open. I love getting to know you guys and getting to talk with you guys and helping you guys out with your lineups. But without any further ado, we're gonna hop right into the video. So first off, we're gonna talk about kind of what your expectations should be. So I have my team set up. You can see my team here, and you can see the price that I paid for most of these guys. I didn't pay very much ETH for most of these guys. These are kind of bottom of the barrel starter type of guys that are very much a budget team. So I shouldn't really be try to hit the top prizes, right? With the budget players, every now and then they may have a great week, but you shouldn't be shooting too high. So the first thing when setting your lineup, I would recommend when you're doing MLS, take your best players and put them. If you're doing a budget team like me, take your best players and put them in this Global All-Star Division 4. Because that way you can at least try to grind out a little bit of ETH and try to get at least some rewards coming in. You don't necessarily want to go for like the Champion America or Champion America or the higher levels of Global All-Star and try to get bigger rewards just because your team is a budget team. So you have to be realistic with your expectations. So that's kind of the first piece of advice that I give to people when starting their MLS lineups. Make sure you're in the right competition. Make sure you're trying to set yourself up for success, really. Put your best players in a position where they may actually win you some rewards. Um, Now, as we go through here, so the other thing that I'm going to show you guys is the website that I use personally. I'm not affiliated with them or anything, but just the website that I use to find the starting lineups. So this is RotoWire. They have a pretty decent soccer page. They do cover the MLS. So you can see here they have like an expected lineup, and then they also tell you which guys are out. Okay, so these are the three games that are coming on later today. Um, so you can see Krupo starting, Steve Clark is a starting goalkeeper, Eloy Room, Andre Blake, and then you can see all of the guys that are currently out. So if you have Darlington Nagbe, let's say, he's a starter. You would normally want to play him, but he's out. He's not playing in this game, so there's no reason to put him in your starting lineup. That's something that I used this week with Yordi Reyna, who I was expecting to start, but midweek it broke that he's hurt. He's out for 6 weeks. I think it's a hamstring. So didn't put him in the starting lineup. Now I just happen to be following DC United, but if I'm not following DC United or if I don't have access to the information, this is a pretty good site that's pretty accurate as far as the injuries. And you can see, so the games for next week, they haven't posted their lineups yet, like their predicted lineups, uh, but they still have who's out. So you can see for DC United here, because this is my team, so this is what I know. Ola Kamara, we played last night. Ola Kamara didn't end up playing. Pines didn't end up playing. And then these guys we already knew were out. So they were pretty accurate there as far as the injuries go. Um, and I think they nailed the starting lineup for DC United as well. So this is a really good site to kind of use if you're not sure of who's going to be starting on a particular day, if you're not sure of, if there's a suspension or an injury, all of that kind of thing should be listed on here. You can see Elsinho. A lot of people are asking me about Elsinho. Elsinho is a super sub, so he doesn't start very many games, but he normally does come on all the time. But right now he's hurt, so he's not worth putting in your starting lineup. So definitely a good site to check out. If you get their subscription, they have a ton of different stuff in here. The depth charts can be a little shaky at times because they just list defender, midfielder, forward. They don't break it down by center back, right back, left back. So it can be a little shaky. Um, but some of these team trends and let's see what else was good. Some of the team trends are pretty good. So if you do If you do want to get the subscription to RotoWire, I think it's like 5.99 per month if you pay for the whole year, which really isn't too bad. But definitely something to kind of keep in mind. Definitely something that I would recommend, because this is, as far as I've seen, this is the best site for trying to find who's going to be starting on a specific day and who is out. The other thing that they had is news. So this is just good to just kind of keep up with what's going on because it's very difficult to find MLS news. Um, so this is very good stuff to kind of know. Like Martinez came on late. I was watching that game, so I actually knew that already. But it kind of breaks it down. These are all by team, so you can kind of see exactly what they did. And then they give you more news. They give you like an analysis piece if you actually subscribe, which I'll have the subscription a little bit later on. But so that's kind of the place that I would go if you're asking about who's starting, who's not starting. If you're trying to figure out why they're not starting, you have to dig a little bit deeper, maybe into RotoWire, to figure out like what the timeshares are going to be. This was another. Once I actually have the full subscription, I think I'll show you guys a little bit more. I think it was Team Trends, but I was just going through this just briefly just to see what they had. Um, But this is a good one. Doing percentage of team. So you can see how many minutes they allocate to each player. And this is last year's. But you can see how many minutes they allocate to each player during each game. And that's as a percentage of the team. So kind of an interesting website. Definitely recommended. I've started using them. And I just go through and check every single player on my team, make sure that they're in the projected starting lineup. Doesn't guarantee that they're going to start, but at least you'll get rid of some of the injuries, the suspensions that we know ahead of time. I mean, if it's a coach's decision, no one's going to really know that. But that can kind of save you a few of those DNPs. You can kind of know ahead of time and kind of get them out of the starting lineup. But yeah, that's going to be the video for today. I appreciate you guys watching. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you guys. If you have any topics for new videos, please feel free to reach out to me at MLS Card Guy on Twitter, Instagram, Discord. Obviously, you can leave a comment in the YouTubes. I try to get back to those comments as quickly as I can as well. But I really appreciate you guys hopping on today. And until the next time, Vamos United.